People who found oil on their property, how did you secretly extract it? A few years back, I inherited this chunk of land from my uncle in rural Oklahoma. Nothing glamorous, just some overgrown acreage with a rundown barn and a pond that looked like a mosquito theme park. I was actually annoyed when I got it because I didn't live anywhere near there and didn't have time to farm anything. But one afternoon, I'm out there, walking the property line, and I notice the pond has this weird rainbow sheen across the top. At first, I think, gross, someone dumped motor oil. But then I realized it wasn't just in one spot. Every time I stepped near the bank, I saw little bubbles popping up with that same oily shimmer. Naturally, I do the dumbest thing possible. I light a stick and touch it to the surface. The water literally whooshed up in a blue flame for half a second before dying out. I almost fell backward into the pond. That's when it hit me. This wasn't trash. This was oil. Now I wasn't about to call some big oil company and let them roll in, take everything, and cut me a laughable check. So I went full secret operations mode. First step, research. Turns out small-time rigs are insanely expensive. But I found something else. People use slant drilling setups and DIY pump jacks for water wells. With a few modifications, you can actually extract crude. It wasn't going to make me Saudi rich, but it could definitely line my pockets. Second step, cover story. My neighbors thought I was just renovating the barn. I started hauling in equipment, scrap metal, and pipes, all under the excuse of fixing up old farm infrastructure. Every time someone asked what I was doing, I said, rainwater harvesting system. Nobody questions a guy trying to collect rainwater. The actual drilling process was sketchy as hell. Imagine me with a rented backhoe, tearing into the ground like a clueless prospector, while constantly paranoid that someone would drive by and realize I wasn't planting tomatoes. When I finally hit a pocket, the pressure literally hissed up the pipe. It smelled like gasoline mixed with dirt. The jack I rigged together was laughable. I welded it out of spare parts, and it made this awful creaking noise that echoed at night. I had to grease it constantly so it wouldn't give me away. And let me tell you, nothing feels sketchier than standing in the dark, pumping crude into 55-gallon drums, praying no one notices the smell. Now here's the wild part, selling it. You can't exactly post raw crude for sale, bring your own bottle on Craigslist. What I did was call up some used oil recycling outfits. Turns out some of them don't really care where it comes from as long as they get cheap feedstock. I drove a beat-up truck with barrels in the back, claimed it was waste oil from farm equipment, and they paid cash. Not full market value, but enough to feel like I was pulling off a heist every time. This went on for about a year. I kept my operation quiet, stashed the cash, and didn't breathe a word. My biggest fear was someone running a survey or some inspector showing up. Eventually, I shut it down because the upkeep was insane, and honestly, the paranoia started eating me alive. Every creak in the barn made me think the IRS, the EPA, or some oil tycoon with lawyers was about to bust in.